Hong Kong Direct is your weekly racing roundup full of news, views, previews, interviews and special guests. And coming up on a big show today, we're looking ahead to the start of the four-year-old Classic Series a week on Sunday. Who are the big players? Joe Moreira riding those first two candidates there. That's Tourbillon Diamond in Rich Delight. Joe Moreira again. Who did he choose for the four-year-old series, which starts off a week on Sunday? And amongst other things, we're catching up with Antoine Hamelin, been weighing in with the French star with 9 rides on the weekend as well. Very warm welcome to the show. I'm Andrew Lejeune. Please say I'm joined by South China Morning Post journalist in Trenton Akers. And Trenton, outside of the four-year-old series, that weekend, the 24th, we've also got a Group 1 double-header as well as Centenary Sprint Cup and the Stewards Cup. Looking forward to that. It's a great little weekend of racing, isn't it? It doesn't feel like that long ago we had the international races in December, and these ones have rolled around and the good horses are back out to play again. So it's good. It always seems like something's on the horizon at the moment this time of year, doesn't it? It certainly does. Yeah, we'll have a look at some of those Group 1 horses trialling in the show as well. Waikuku back to defend his crown in the Stewards Cup, but of course he's got the not small matter of having to beat Golden 60 if he's going to do that. Yeah, well, that's the question now. How do they beat this horse? It's no mean feat, is it? But he's a class horse, Waikuku, and his run on International Day was pretty good considering he was first up for a long time. And there's another horse called Rise High in the race as well, who I reckon would give it a real shake. Absolutely, and he was one of the horses that he broke Beauty Generation's winning run as well, didn't he? Yeah, that was Rise High. We'll see him in the trials as well in due course. We'll start though with the four-year-old Classic Series and the Classic Mile as well. We've been out and about to catch up with some of the local professionals and their picks, not only on the Classic Mile but the whole Derby scene itself.
I'm going to take Healthy Happy. I thought he won well on debut in Class 3. He came out with his second start and he got a bit of trouble turning for home. Then he came out and won a Class 2 level. I think he's still on the up. I think he's going to see out the mile very well. I think the Classic Mile is right up his alley. We'll see what he can do for the second leg and the third leg, but I think the Classic Mile is a good chance, and he seems to be floating under the radar a little bit. A nice on-pace ride should see him show his best.
Leader Healthy Happy, Band of Brothers through, zipping up the inside. Band of Brothers, Healthy Happy. Here's a go. Healthy Happy still in front. Heads up and down. Healthy Happy won the last.
Now I'm going to go with Tourbillon Diamond, another former Australian galloper. I think he's been really, really good since he's arrived in Hong Kong. He's only had the 2 starts. If you'd asked me this probably before he arrived, I thought he would have been, a bit more one pace, looking for further, but his last start win over the mile was really good. His recent trials I thought was outstanding, and I think Denny Shum's done a great job with this horse, and I'm excited to see him go through all 3 legs of the four-year-old series.
Tourbillon Diamond's a neck away on his outside. Circuit 3 ahead. Tourbillon Diamond drives at him. He's gone to the lead, Tourbillon Diamond, and he wins the last.
Well, I'm going with Packing Waltham. I thought his runs to date have been quite good, actually. He's only had the 4 runs, but in my opinion, I think he's probably been carrying a bit of condition on 3 occasions, and he just seems to have had enough time to possibly have settled in. Now, on the size side, he doesn't look like he'd probably get the distance, but overseas he's already done that, over 1,800 and also 2,000 metres. It was on polytrack and fibre sand, but I'm hoping that he can do it on the turf.
Packing Waltham through the middle. Tianchi Monster not far away with Beer again in 79. Packing Waltham has found the front here. Glorious Artist going a huge race out wider at the post.
Really looking forward to the series. I think it's a really even one, but the horse I'm most looking forward to seeing is Shadow Hero from the David Hayes stable. He's a 2-time Group 1 winner in Australia, over 1,600 metres and 2,000 metres, so the distances won't be a problem for him. He's had 2 starts in Hong Kong and been pretty solid, and I think he'll take improvement from that. And he trialled recently, and I think he's going to be right into the series.
I've gone for Sky Darcy. I think in the lead-up form, he has the best form. He's the highest rated horse, and the handicappers' ratings always do carry some weight, if you'll pardon the pun, in this series. These horses have been racing in Class 1s and Group 3s like him and Lucky Express. They go back against their own age at level weights, and they do have some sort of advantage. And they've been through some tough racing as well, so mentally it switches them on. So Sky Darcy, he's got all the tools. He's got a really nice turn of foot. He relaxes. I don't think he'll have any trouble with the mile. And quite often these class horses, they will run the longer distances as well against their own age group. So I'm pretty comfortable with Sky Darcy on top. I don't think he's a standout, but I do think that he deserves to be the first choice.
Sky Darcy's coming through in the middle. Late at them, Super Oasis, Buddy's Lucky Express. Sky Darcy, three-way go. Sky Darcy.
And he trained by Casper Fowles. Joe Moreira will be in the saddle again a week on Sunday riding Sky Darcy. I imagine he had a few chances or options to go with as well. Now, Trenton, probably a good barometer there, and this fact that we've asked 5 people for their long-range Derby picks in the Classic Mile as well, and we came up with 5 different horses.
Yeah, well, there's no Golden 60s in the lot, is there, from last year, that's for sure. But that's not knocking it either. It's the handicapping ratings will show how even it is. It's I reckon it's a really interesting year in the sense that you've got a PPG like Sky Darcy that's gone all the way up from Class 4 to be the top rider, and then you've got these really highly rated imports from overseas as well who are kind of still finding their feet. So it's a very even series.
Alan, touching on the point there at the end, Sky Darcy does have the big rating. He's got a triple figure rating, 103. So off level weights, you know, he's basically his best in as far as the mile is concerned. And Joe has gone with him above Excellent Proposal, who was disappointing. Yeah. There's no other word for it last weekend.
Yeah, well, going into last week, you would have, I think most people would have had Excellent Proposal as the top seed, wouldn't they? So it was a bit of a shock to the system when he didn't really offer much, did he? Which I'm happy to excuse at first go back off a long break because before that, at the start of the season, he was outstanding, I thought. So, I mean, it's a good pickup ride for Blake Shin, that's for sure.
It certainly is. Yeah, so as far as you're concerned, the Derby's a long way off, but who's on your short list there, and what are you thinking about the Classic Mile? We're still to know the final field for the mile, of course, and barrier draws and everything else, but what are your early thoughts?
Looking long term, I think the Derby, it's hard to go past Shadow Hero, I think. You know, the 2-time Group 1 winner, he's got class on his side. He's still taking a little bit to find his feet. They're taking the blinkers off, which I think is interesting. He did race well with them in Australia. So he would be my Derby pick at this stage, but over the shorter trips, I'm happy to try something like, you know, a Healthy Happy or a Lucky Express, one of these horses that's probably considered more of a short distance horse and stepping up. I think that's the great thing about the miles, that you get these sprinters that are stepping up and the middle distance horses that are kind of dropping back in trips. So I'm happy to try something with a bit of speed. So Healthy Happy, I think, might be, you know, decent value on the day. All
right, I'm a big fan of his as well. And the last 2 winners of the mile, of course, have gone on to win the Derby itself as well. So it is obviously a key trial there. Not only the Classic Mile, though, a week on Sunday, the 2 Group 1s. Let's have a look at what we've got in store. Can't wait for that then, the 24th for the 2 Group 1s and the first leg of the 4-year-old Classic Series as well. Beat the clock, not back to defend his crown, which won the last 2 runnings of the Centenary Sprint Cup, but John Sides has won the last 3. Can he make it 4? Now, as we head off to the break, we'll go to the trial file with some of the big names out and about at Sha Tin as well in action. We'll start off with one of the biggest names of all, that is Golden 60.
Golden 60's been wide throughout, and he's just ambling up on the outside without being extended. Next is Rise High, who's following Golden 60, and Panfielders next. Southern Legend given a good stretch out now past the 200-metre mark. Rise High finishes off well. Falcon Turbo's on the inside. Quiet trial from Golden 60, but it's an easy one for Southern Legend. Has beaten an impressive Rise High. It is California Deep Shot near the furlong leading. Waikuku moves up stylishly, 3 up with Lucky Express between them. They're well clear of the other 2. He gets to work Chadwick on California Deep Shot to keep the lead, and he will. California Deep Shot all of the way. Unextended Waikuku and Lucky Express 2nd and 3rd. Computer Patch still leading. We the South is next to the inside, and 3 up is Hot King Prawn. They've snuck away from Hey Pal. Computer Patch is being pushed along. We the South is trialling really nicely against the rail. Hot King Prawn 3 up. It's Computer Patch in front, given a strong hit out over the last furlong, and Computer Patch beat We the South. Handy trial from him. Hot King Prawn third.
Welcome back to Hong Kong Direct. SCMP journalist Trenton Akers still with me. Back to him very shortly as we look ahead to the weekend's action. But if you want to get the full preview on Sunday's 10 race programme, Racing to Win on the website, multimedia showcase, the 7 on the turf and 3 on the all-weather. We'll be looking at one of the all-weather races in a moment or so with Trenton. Before that, though, we're going to be weighing in with Antoine Hamelin.
Hello. This is Antoine Hamelin, a jockey from France. Yes, this is my nickname, the Hammer. Come from Hong Kong, and I think this came because I finished strong in the race.
You like it?
Yeah, that's fun. I go to the race course when I'm very young with my father. I discover this job here, and I'm working with the horse every time when I'm very young, and I know I'm not a people for working in an office. Yes, this is my best memory for the moment. I win the first race and another one in the first day for me. I'm very happy about this day. It's in my heart.
Best for You Galactic, Best for You's gone to the lead, Best for You has given Antoine Hamelin's first day at the office, it's made it très bien. Baltic Success hard up against the outside, gets to the 200 metre mark and gets away. Put 4 lengths on them. Flying Genius has gone to second, and then Heart Conquered Valiant Dream, but it's this man again, Antoine Hamelin, there's 2.
Yeah, 2 favorite memory. The first one is the French Derby in France, and the second one is the winner in Prix Royal Ascot in England.
Pour Mutello, Saint-Padelino, avec Saunois également qui termine de plus en plus fort, accompagné encore par Patrick qui est dans la cale, avec Saunois qui a pris l'avantage et qui va s'imposer ici devant Mutello qui a terminé à la 2e place.
Christophe Soumillon and Christophe Lemaire. Climbing is my favorite sport and my hobby. I started climbing 2 years ago, and I find a lot of spots in Hong Kong for climb, and I love that. It's very fun, very important. I'm feeling like similar for the racing. You need to stay focused a lot and just thinking about your safety and the rock. Yeah, she's arrived in Hong Kong a few weeks ago. I'm very happy about that. She's happy as well, enjoy. The life is not easy everywhere in the world, so we are lucky to are in Hong Kong. It's a safe place. One funny moment, yes, in Tunisia with Theo Bachelot, another one French jockey. We ride together here, and he lose the whip at the last bend, and he asked me to give him a whip, and I gave him my whip in the bend in the race, and he finished second. He don't win, but very funny man. Yeah, so crazy. We many laughs, and we talked about this story from many times. My goal is to stay in Hong Kong with the winner for many years. Yes, that's true. That's a very hard place for ride. But if it's too easy, it's not for me. I don't like that. So I do my best and hopefully stay here for many years because I really like this place.
We did really well. Fun interview there with Antoine, well on his first stint, and 8 winners so far this campaign, Trenton.
Yeah, look, it probably hasn't gone completely to plan for him, to be honest. He came out all guns blazing halfway through last season when he arrived, didn't he? And he was fantastic, I thought. But he's easy to see in the run because he's got that extravagant whip action, doesn't he? So he's easy to pick up. But look, he'll continue to ride winners here. It's just a matter of time. So it's good to see that he's got that long-term ambition here as well.
Absolutely. He can keep the rock climbing, though. I don't fancy that in any shape or form.
I remember when I was speaking to him when he was in quarantine here at Bees Riverbed before he arrived, and he was desperate to do some kind of climbing, so he said he'd worked out some kind of workout that he could do in terms of his bed and push-ups and all these kind of things to keep his muscles active, he was saying.
And he's made a good start. He's got a bit to do with catch up with his dad, though. Had a very impressive handlebar moustache, but it looks like he's made a good start on it.
Outstanding moustache, wasn't it, there? I don't know how you beat that.
On the weekend, he's got 9 rides, so it's not a bad book. He's got Steel Win, I thought was an interesting debutant for Michael Chang. And Pinghai Bravo, without Wellington, who's going at a different race, would have to have a good chance of adding to his good record down the straight.
Well, he kind of, John Size changed him up. He put him down the straight and he grew wings, that horse, didn't he? So that's a very good ride for Antoine to pick up, and I reckon he'll be quietly confident with him.
Yeah, all right. Well, we'll look out for the rest of them as well. The one race he doesn't have a ride in on the weekend is the first of the all-weather races. That's race number 3, and that's the race we're going to have a look at now. It's a Class 1 over the 1650, headed by King Shield, whose record on the dirt is outstanding. He's 3 from 4 course and distance. The other race he finished second. Elusive State was well behind him, 5 lengths behind him. 3 starts back now for him. He's a beaten favourite last time out as well, Elusive State. A Glorious Artist, another horse with a really good record on the surface. Red Desert has, but 1,200 metres normally his go. You say the same about Encore Boy. Green Luck coming up in class, and he's relatively new to the surface. And Circuit Glory, he's had a number of goes. He is, of course, he's a distance winner. He's one of the 1650, but those wins coming at Happy Valley. So to a certain extent, this is about King Shield. I assume they'll jump to the front and try and dictate like they did last time when he was just nothing short of spectacular, but Elusive State has got a 16-pound turnaround for this 5-length beating.
It's a big turnaround, isn't it? But I thought he's a monster on the dirt, King Shield. He grows legs when he gets on it. I remember speaking to Zach Purton about him. He's amazed by his gate speed. When he jumps, he's just got this ability to jump, hold the rail in before you know it. So that 1650 start's normally pretty tricky for those horses on the dirt into the first bend, but he's leading and on the rail before you know it. So this race has been put on for him effectively to try and get him to Dubai if they want to go there. So he'll be wound up, that's for sure.
Absolutely. Now, Elusive State, the plan was for Dubai for him last season as well. This is him then. Last time out, finishing in 4th as favourite. Glorious Artist engaged once more.
Yeah, well, Elusive State, he was all the rage last season, wasn't he? And that was nothing short of a disaster, what happened last year with Dubai. I mean, he travelled all the way there and then had to come back, and there's a chance it knocked the wind out of his sails a little bit. He just hasn't quite looked the same horse this year. He's obviously still a threat, and he does have the weight on his side here, but I just think King Shield he could be pretty good on the dirt, globally, not just in Hong Kong.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what he can do if he does get on the world stage as well. But just sticking with Elusive State for a moment or so, let's catch up with his jockey at track work. That's Joe Moreira.
He did run well, and of course he's not a young horse anymore, but every time he steps out there on the all-weather track, he shows that he's got it still. And I know it's a very strong race. King Shield should be the hot favorite, but if he does get beaten, it could be by Elusive States, because he's a good dirt horse as well, and he seems in good form. If there was much between them, I think the handicapper has done his job to even them up. So that means because of the weight difference now, we might finish the race very close to each other. So that means my horse may have a good chance as well.
And much like Zach's got a good record on King Shield, Joe's got an excellent record on Elusive State as well. At his peak of his powers, he was 106. He's now dropped down a little bit. So, if you're right, if he can get back to that sort of level, he's a big threat off this way. Yeah,
he is, and you can tell that's what Joe's kind of pinning his hopes on, isn't it? And handicap system here in Hong Kong, it's meant to create a level playing field. So if he can just capture that form, and the speed's definitely going to be on, so he's going to be able to launch late, Elusive State. So if he's good enough, he can be there.
And could you make any sort of argument at all for the likes of Red Desert and Encore Boy? I mean, they love the surface, but the trip and the class maybe find them out?
Yeah, I think maybe the class just probably gets to him here. I mean, Glorious Artist will go good, and I mean, he could probably mix it with those other two, but others, I think they're probably fighting it out for minor place money, I would have thought.
All right, we're looking forward to that. That's race number 3. Races 4 and 8, the other dirt races on the programme as well at Sha Tin on Sunday. Looking further ahead, we're back at Happy Valley again Wednesday night, again with the 9 races, so 6:45 for race number 1. And that big weekend, Sunday the 24th, Centenary Sprint Cup. Group 1 over the 1200, Stewards Cup, Golden 60, White Cuckoo and more. And then the first leg of the Hong Kong 4-year-old series, which is the Classic Mile. Thank you then, Trent. That's about all we've got time for. We've got to wrap things up now, but enjoy the action of the weekend and for coming weeks as well.
Thanks, Andrew. No, it's been a pleasure.
All right, so great stuff. That's the show. Thanks for watching. I'm going to leave you this week with Mr. Medici. We're going back a few years here. The reason why? Well, Peter Ho trained his 600th winner midweek at Happy Valley. And Mr. Medici, so he's going back, but was one of his stars. 2010 for the Champions and Chater Cup in far from glorious conditions here. So enjoy this. We'll see you again on Sunday and bring all the action from Hong Kong direct to you.
In driving rain, 1,300 metres out, Super Pistachio by 3/4 to Mr. Medici. Packing winner third on the inside of Viva Pataka. 2 after Super Saturn, then King Dancer and 2.5 further back to Fat Choichiban at the tail of the field. They're working down the back and Super Pistachio, who was just touched off in this year's Derby, a noted wet track performer abroad, and Super Pistachio makes the running from Mr. Medici in second. Backing winner still third from Viva Pataka. King Dance on the rails from Super Saturn, and 2 lengths last of all is Fat Choichiban as they work out of the back section of the course now. And Super Pistachio in front. There's been no change to the order. Super Pistachio by 3/4 to Mr. Medici. Packing winners had a soft run all of the way. Then Viva Pataka gunning for 4 wins in the Champions and Chater Cup. White gets going now on Super Saturn. King Dance at the inside of him, and Fat Choichiban's not going with him as they race up to the home turn now. Viva makes his move on Viva Pataka. Super Pistachio turns the corner in front of Mr. Medici. Viva Pataka's cruising up into third. From packing winner, King Dancer runs on, and Super Saturn can't get through the conditions. It's Mr. Medici racing to the front with Viva Pataka going after him the outside. Back on the far side, Super Pistachio. Mr. Medici's revelling in the conditions. The old champ Viva Pataka can't get him. Super Pistachio keeps boxing on, but it's Gerard Mosse and Mr. Medici back to great form. Mr. Medici wins the Champions and Chater.